Presidential candidates 2 debates ago, when that young man asked all of them how much of every dollar that he earns he should be entitled to keep, I'd have answered unambiguously, all of it. The other issues animating the young folks in Lower Manhattan is primarily their antipathy to financial success. Their demands, which no one takes seriously, that the government owes them a job and a living wage is silly and has been rejected by the promises of the Declaration of Independence and the guarantees of the Constitution. The Declaration articulates the first principle that our rights come from our humanity, not from the government. You have the right to work, which means the right to trade your energy, your talents, and your ideas to whoever wants to purchase or lease them from you. You have the right to do so in an environment free from interference by your neighbors or by the government. But the idea that you have a right to income from or secured by the government is contrary to first principles. For if the government gives you money for whatever reason, that means it has taken money from someone else. And that theft violates that person's right to keep his own property. And that right is protected in the Constitution. The idea of the federal government taking money from those who produce and giving it to others began with FDR. Before the war, when he was looking for ways to keep the presidency for the rest of his life, he concluded that he could bribe voters with their own money. So he began taking from the rich, borrowing from the rich, and printing cash and giving money to classes of Americans, first seniors and then the poor, who would slowly, over time, he hoped, become dependent upon the federal government. Once he committed the Democratic Party to providing funding to seniors and the poor, irrespective of first principles, he knew that those groups would stay comfortably in the Democratic camp because they would grow dependent upon the government. Envious of the success Democrats have had by keeping voters upon them, many Republicans, too, have come around to supporting these government giveaways. Today, very few in government recognize that the cancer of dependency, started by FDR, has now spread everywhere, and they are reinforcing it. The other evil that taking from the rich recalls, and this brings us back to the young folks demonstrating in the financial district downtown, is the first principle that only private investment produces wealth because the government only consumes wealth. So who does the investing that creates jobs and produces prosperity? The rich. As my buddy Glenn Beck is fond of saying, I never met a poor person who could offer me a job, but I know a lot of formerly poor folks who have become prosperous by working for the rich people who have hired them. Where does this leave us? We have the New York City police who don't understand the message downtown, who hate the messengers, and who couldn't care less about the First Amendment. The behavior of the police who strike and spray and harm the demonstrators is unlawful and unconstitutional. If the federal government was serious about personal freedom and the First Amendment, which it isn't, it would stop these cops from interfering with the demonstrators. We have the spoiled brats downtown who really think that the government should steal from the rich and give to them. We have the labor union leaders who have lost clout by demanding too much, who are now joining in this ruckus and demonstrating against the people who finance the people that employ them. And we have some wonderful young folks downtown who do understand that the government must stop picking winners and losers in our society and get out of the way. Freedom Watch may disagree with what many of these demonstrators say, but it will defend tenaciously their right to say it. From New York, defending freedom every night of the week. So long, America.